Hi, and welcome back to Age of Noob. The House of Wisdom has many unique technologies for the Abbasid Dynasty to choose from, one of which is improved processing in the Imperial Age. But how much improvement do we see in practice, and when should we research it? Well, let's find out. As usual, let's cover the fundamentals first. Improved processing is available in the Imperial Age for the Abbasids under the economic wing. Since there's no way you haven't built the economic wing by the Imperial Age, this video will assume that you have it at your disposal. Improved processing costs the typical 1000 resources just like any typical Imperial Age economic technology. But there is a catch. The preservation of knowledge technology provides a discount to improved processing as well, decreasing its cost to 210 wood and 490 gold. Furthermore, although it has a base research time of 90 seconds, it also goes down if you have the third tier of the Golden Age. Hence, under typical circumstances in the Imperial Age, it's not far-fetched to assume that the average player will have both the third Golden Age tier as well as preservation of knowledge researched already before researching improved processing. So we'll assume a baseline cost of 700 resources and a 58-second research time. Alright, let's get into the testing and mechanics. The technology's description reads, villagers drop off plus 8% more resources. This practically means that any resource you collect on the map actually lasts 8% more, so this technology is not only an indirect gathering speed bonus, but also a longevity one for all resources but farms on the map. The way that it works is very simple. If you gather 30 food from a deer, the deer will have 120 food out of its 150 food still remaining on its carcass. However, when you do drop off the 30 food, you'll see that you've actually gained 32 food instead. Technically, you did gain 32.4 food, but the game tracks the decimals for you in the long run anyway. So yes, 4000 gold veins actually provide 4320 gold, deer with 350 food will provide 378 food each, and so on. Okay, what about the speed then? Does the 8% more drop-off translate to exactly 8% faster gathering in practice? Well, I tested this theory using an example late-game economy for the Abbasids with typical eco upgrades already researched. I had 79 villagers on food, 23 on wood, and 26 on either gold or stone. I ran the exact setup twice, once with improved processing and once without. The difference per villager per minute in resources gathered was roughly 4 for farmers, 3.5 for lumberjacks, and 3.5 again for miners. This is expected behavior as farmers do not lose efficiency due to RNG and game mechanics like lumberjacks or miners do. However, as mentioned before, because improved processing increases the resource gathered at the drop-off point, it's virtually immune to inefficiencies. Obviously, if your economy is awful and inefficient, you should definitely fix it, but from the technology's perspective, it doesn't matter. As long as villagers are gathering resources, you'll still get a straight 8% improvement, give or take. That said, do remember that an 8% improvement on awful efficiency is significantly worse than an 8% improvement on a good one. So don't let this be an excuse to be lazy in refreshing your lumber camps and doubling your mining camps in the late game. Alright, now that we know how improved processing impacts your numbers, let's talk about payback. As mentioned previously, villagers with improved processing gather between 3.5 to 4 more resources per minute than those without. Hence, I'll graph them both so you can see the range of payback times to adhere to. Also, as mentioned before, the graph will assume that you have the third Golden Age active already. This graph's x-axis is number of villagers and y-axis is payback time in minutes. The range of the x-axis is between 50 to 150 villagers, as you'll practically almost never reach the Imperial Age with fewer than 50 villagers, and making more than 150 villagers is overbooming and gives you no space for military. Okay, here are the payback time curves when you plot them. The red line showcases the payback time if we have not researched preservation of knowledge and assume a conservative gather rate improvement of 3.5 per villager per minute. The green line assumes the same gather rate but with preservation of knowledge researched, and the blue line is the best case scenario with preservation of knowledge research and an assumption of an improvement of 4 resources per minute per villager. We can very clearly see how much preservation of knowledge impacts payback time. And since it is a no-brainer to pick up for the Abbasids way before you even reach the Imperial Age, I will ignore the red line for our purposes. That said, we impressively see a payback time of 5 and 4.5 minutes for the green and blue lines at only 50 villagers, which is very good for an Imperial Age technology. We do see heavy diminishing returns around the 80 to 100 villager mark, as adding more villagers barely makes a difference in payback times. To put things into perspective, the payback time gains from 50 to 100 villagers is a full 2 minutes, as it goes down from a 5 to 3 minute payback time. Adding another 50 villagers from 100 to 150 improves the payback time by just half a minute, so the impact is almost 4 times less than the previous 50 villagers. In summary, you should expect a practical effect of somewhere between the green and blue lines, and you shouldn't wait too long to research improved processing. Anywhere between 80 to 100 villagers seems to be the sweet spot, as you'll pay back your investment between 3 to 3.5 minutes, which is amazing for an Imperial Age technology. That said, picking it up between 60 to 80 villagers isn't the end of the world either, assuming you can afford to do so without getting punished. In other words, you should never question if you should research improved processing, but only when you should do so, depending on your game. Well, that's all you need to know about the unique technology of improved processing for the Abbasid Dynasty. Age of Empires 4 will reportedly get some news announced on Gamescom in a few days, so I'll be sure to keep you folks updated on that. Hence, be sure to like and subscribe to Age of Noob to not miss out on anything Age of Empires related. And thanks as usual to our Patreons for their support. As always, thanks for watching everyone. Do not forget to research improved processing before you hit 100 villagers, and see you all in the next one.